I thank the member and call the member for Fairfax.
Oh, thank you very much, Deputy Speaker, and I really enjoyed that last speaker. The religious zealotry comes out yet again from the Labor Party whenever this topic is discussed, Madam Deputy Speaker. There were a few accusations made, one being that the government continues to change its mind because it supports one form of energy and then another form of energy. Now, as the Prime Minister made very clear at the beginning of this year and since, this government takes an agnostic approach when it comes to energy, Deputy Speaker, an agnostic approach. That means that there are times when we will support renewables. There are times where we will absolutely support wind and solar and hydro, and there are times when we will also support gas and coal. You see, at the end of the day, our policy objectives are crystal clear. We need to ensure that we have energy security in this country. Now, that means that we need secure, reliable and affordable energy. And so the objective is clear. Our disposition, being agnostic, is clear, and it differentiates us from those opposite, Deputy Speaker, because our approach is a pragmatic one. It is not one based on zealotry. It is not one that says the days of coal are dead and it's all about renewables. It's one that says we need to ensure we have energy security and we need to ensure that we deliver against our commitments under the Paris Agreement. In order to achieve those end objectives, we are happy to accept a myriad of energy sources, coal, of course, being key to it. What we have, and the last speaker from the opposition made it clear, is a complete ignorance of the way the real market economy works. They love to speak big about the importance of not having uncertainty in this energy marketplace. However, at that very time, you have Labor state governments with unrealistic renewable energy targets, which are fundamentally flawed and are a disadvantage, a disincentive for capital to flow into Australia and indeed domestic companies across Australia because of state Labor governments. Now, we all know the disaster, the catastrophe that's taken place in South Australia of recent months with the blackouts. And in my state, I'm a proud Queenslander, Deputy Speaker. In my state, the Labor government has a 50% renewable target. Absolutely ludicrous. Anybody who has worked in business, and admittedly, in fairness to the opposition, very rarely do they have any members in this place with business experience. Anybody who has done any shape of economics, and again, in fairness to them, they have very few with such a background, understand the importance of leveraging your strength, leveraging your core capability. One of our strengths as a country is our resources. One of the things that has led to our economy outcompeting other economies over the years has been the fact that we leverage our strengths, we leverage our resources, and that includes coal. Now, members opposite might be interested, because the last speaker started to talk about the importance of jobs and then said coal was not important, that direct employment in the coal industry, 2014, nearly 55,000 direct jobs and 145,000 indirect jobs created by this industry. Let alone, Deputy Speaker, let alone the role played by this industry in keeping other companies, other industries alive, allowing their economies to move forward. And on top of that, Deputy Speaker, what we have is an industry that also has the ability to lift people out of poverty in some emerging markets. Literally hundreds of millions of people in the world today do not have electricity, and yet it is Australian coal. It is Australian coal that can solve that problem. And it's for these reasons that I reject the ludicrous claims of religious zealotry from the opposition, and I'm very happy to support this motion.
I thank the member.